Hello tubers and tubettes, this is David from Northern California, and my channel is California Pool Designer. And so I was just talking about a job that I had to give an estimate to up in the town of Auburn, and I did take some videos so you can kind of get a sense of how this pool's got to go in there. He's got a deck that's approximately 4 feet above the ground, and we need the pool to be on the ground. So there'll have to be a set of steps put in there. I got the excavator to come up and the job superintendent, but their timing was a little off. So the excavator was there first, and I was kind of concerned, because steep driveway and the rock is kind of like a flagstone shale kind of rock. So it looks like it'll crush up pretty easily. But all I really needed to know is it possible to do it? And he said, yep, we can do it. So that's really all I needed him to see him, but I think the customer liked the idea that we brought the excavator up. And then a few minutes after that, Rich came up, and he spent a little more time. We talked about some of the details of how to take down the deck, and this guy has a lot of relatives that can do it. He can't do it because he has serious rheumatoid arthritis. But I gave him a bid on it. I gave him the best price that I possibly can, which it seemed like it was really extremely cheap, $60,900. But it doesn't include all the additional concrete or the excavation that he's going to need, because he's going to need about $20,000 in excavation to get that pool dug with all that rock and a backhoe and a demo hammer on the backhoe. And even though dirt's on site, I said you have to prepare yourself for that. So he'll be doing all that off contract. And Rich looked at it, and he had some ideas too, and one of them had to do with keeping some of the deck, and the customer really liked it. So it worked out really good having him there. So right as we were in the backyard, his wife showed up, and I had never met his wife, Teresa. Super nice lady. She's a paralegal like my wife, but retired, or is going to retire, I think. I don't know if she is retired, but she might be going to retire. And so we had a chance to talk to her. I just kind of went over the numbers in general. I think she was happy with the price too, and I did tell her about the digging. They have a son actually that works with Caterpillar, and he wanted to dig the pool, and he possibly could, it sounds like. But the only problem is that when you dig a pool, it's not like you just go there and dig a hole. The sides of the pool have to be hand trimmed. That means you trim them by hand with what looks like a flat shovel. It looks like a shovel, but it's flat. And then the poles are really heavy, solid steel. So you lift it up, and then you trim it straight down. On a swimming pool, it typically has to go 5 feet in the deep end, straight down, and then you cove it at the very bottom. You don't want to start it at the tile line and angle into the pool. It has to be kind of coved that way. So a lot of times when somebody wants to dig the pool, they're not thinking about that. They're just thinking about getting the dirt out of there. But it's really critical that it be trimmed correctly, because the dirt ends up being the outside form for the gunite. We're going to be shooting it onto there. And sometimes you think, well, it's 6 to 8 inches thick there with rebar running through it. But you think, oh, well, some places it's going to be 12 inches thick. Some places it's going to be 18 inches thick. You have a cave in, it might be 3 foot thick. But it's that transition from that 6 to 8 inches and then going to say going to 12 inches and then going back down to 6 to 8, you've created a weak spot in the gunite. So it needs to be trimmed pretty accurately. If you have 6 feet of water, you have to have a 9-inch over dig. That means that you dig it 9 inches deeper. So you'll have 3 inches of freeboard, which is the top part of the tile, the top 3 inches of the tile. And then you've got a 6-inch floor on it, 6 inches thick. If you dig it at 6 foot deep, your pool's going to finish out at 5'3". So that's basically what it is. So I let him talk about his son doing it and everything else. I'm not saying no, he can't do anything over there, because we were just talking, and I said he could grade this other part down, but just don't take the pool down any further, because if anything, the pool needs to be held up higher. So we're going to hold it up as high as we can at no additional cost, which is 8 inches. And then we'll backfill it with gravel, this gravel's material that he has there. And then the transition from the bottom of the wood steps to where the pool is, maybe instead of it being 30 inches, maybe that's 25 inches. So that's the difference between 4 steps or 5 steps. And less steps is always better. He has to pay for that extra. I have the concrete he could use, but I'm already putting a 4-foot wide, put a 4-foot wide walkway all the way around this pool. And so he'll have actually some extra concrete, but he'll have to pay for the finishing edges of the steps, which we charge $25 a linear foot. So if the steps were 4 feet wide, that would be $100, and then if you have 5 steps, that would be $500. So it's kind of like that. That's how it kind of works out. That means that you already have the concrete included, though, in terms of the surface area of the step concrete. So anyway, I left the house, was talking to the job superintendent. He goes, "Man, I like those people. Those people are super nice," and they are. And they're extremely honest people. And it comes across when you're just talking to them. And they got a lot of relatives that are all eager to get in there and demo out that deck. But I told them, don't let them get too crazy, because you could use a lot of the material back down, to when you reconfigure the deck. And so left, and then I got a call from Tony, the homeowner. And he says, "Yep, we want to get started." So I was like, I usually don't have it that quick, but that's okay. And I said, well, I can come back out there and sign you up on maybe Monday or Tuesday. And again, I completely forgot. He's having shoulder surgery due to his rheumatoid arthritis. So I said, well, maybe we can get together tomorrow, which is 1 o'clock. I was not planning on working tomorrow, but this is how the pool business is. So I just got to clear it with my wife, make sure that that's okay. I know we're having a 6 o'clock birthday party with our friends, and we're all going to this local Mexican restaurant for my birthday. So that's at 6 o'clock. So if I go up there at 1 o'clock, it'll be a pretty quick sign up. But there's a lot of issues with that property in terms of a topographical map and stuff, which Rich will have to do a lot of that. So anyway, just want to let you guys know that was very successful. They want to get signed up, and I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but if I were to sign them up, then that would be 5 for the year, and I'd have 25 left to sign up. So they're very excited about it. We'll see how they feel tomorrow, and I'll be going into a little bit deeper if I can get approval from my wife to run an appointment on tomorrow at 1 o'clock. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you finding me. If you stick with the channel, you can subscribe so we can find each other, and I'll have more riveting talking about the ins and outs of pool building in California. Thank you much, and have a great day.